This conference will now be recorded.
Satyavati, Lakshmi, Vijay. Radha, you have to inform to the disconnect avutundi. I think there is some issue in a go-to meeting. I will come up with a solution, guys. You don't worry. Are you facing any kind of issue of voice disconnection? Vijay, Tirupati, Sri Lakshmi, Satya, Satyavati, Swati, Kishore, Jyoti, Tirupatamma. Guys, can you hear me my voice clearly or not? If not, please let me know.
Yes, it's clearly audible.
Okay. So what is our last class, guys? What is our last class? I think in our last class, we've seen that somewhat introduction to Python programming language. Okay. We've seen somewhat introduction to Python programming language. And over there, we understood the keywords, identifiers, variables, statements, and comments. Is it right or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Have you executed this particular statement, whatever I executed in my laptop? Have you executed in your end? At least in your labs, in your college, in your laptops? How many of you practiced it? Tirupati, have you practiced it or not? Whatever I explained in my previous class. Tirupatamma, have you executed my previous class? Have you executed the statements, whatever I executed in my laptop? Same things will be executed in your laptop or not? Or else at least in your college lab or not? Tell me. Tell me, guys. What's wrong with you guys? Why you're not supposed to talk?
Sir, my self-semester exams are running.
I tried, sir, but it's got so many errors.
Okay, so show me that errors.
Okay, sir.
Who is that?
Sir, I am Karthik, sir. I just find the fish, multi something regression on internet, and I just typed the code by myself, and I executed in.
Not that one, not that one. I'm talking about Python. I'm talking about Python.
Okay.
This is a Python class.
Sir.
This is Python class. Okay. So have you executed whatever the statements I executed in my laptop, like statement, comments, and keywords, identifier? Okay. Have you executed the same thing in your laptop or not?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me show you guys. Actually, you are confusing that. Okay, so this is the 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. It could be Python programming language. Okay, so you have to practice, or we have to attend the classes only Python in this particular module time. Okay, and 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. it could be like your machine learning. So if it is possible, you can come out. Otherwise, you don't need to come. After the Python, I can explain one more time. That's not a big deal. Okay, so
A little confused, sir. Sir, I did Python, and I do have got some errors.
okay, so in Python, whatever I executed in my class in previously, I mean my last class, I would like to show you once. That was, have you executed that one or not? That's what my question. Okay. So first we should go for open the Anaconda. Have you guys installed the Anaconda in your laptop or not?
Yes, sir.
No. Mute, Madevi, mute your system. Yeah, so this is the Anaconda. I hope you all installed Anaconda software in your computers. Okay, once installation is done, you just need to open it. This is what I explained in my previous class. So I opened it, and I'm opening the Jupyter notebook. Whenever I was trying to opening the Jupyter notebook, it was navigating to our Google Chrome or our local host. And here we have to select the desktop, and you can go with your particular folder, and this is my folder, right? And here, this is what I explained in my previous class. Okay, so have you executed these statements? I'm asking, the question is, have you executed these statements or not? This comments, statements, okay, and this identifiers, and here we got some syntax errors, right? This is the thing I'm expecting from you. Have you executed this particular programs? This is just in live session. Whatever I explain in live, that was execution is done or not from your end or not. That's what my question. Okay, if not, please go through the recording and please practice it. If not, it will be very tough for you in our further sessions. Okay, next one is for today's class. Class lo unna sir. Yeah, so let's go for creating the one more Jupyter file. Oh, this is my another project. Okay, fine, no problem. So I would like to go for creating the new Python file, and for today's class is, it's your data types in Python, which is having some data types, right? So you can have the name is 2.python data types. So when it comes to the Python data types, my first question is, what is data type? Can anybody tell me? What is data types, guys? What is data types? So
data can be stored in several types.
So usually the variables are holding some data, right? Variables are holding some data. See, when the variables are holding the data, we have to know the what type of data which is holded. Okay, that we want to know it, to specify or to know the what type of data can hold by, okay, variables. That if you want to specify, that if you want to know it, then make sure that you need to understand the data type concept. The type of data type is nothing else, it's a type of data. Okay, in Python programming language there are 10 data types are there. The first one is the integer data type, and second one is the float data type, third one is the complex data type, fourth one is int float complex, and fourth one is the bool data type, fifth one is the none data type. Okay, sixth one is the string data type, seventh one is list data type, and eighth one is the tuple data type, ninth one is set data type, last but not least it could be the dictionary data type. Okay, so total we have the 10 data types. Tell me how many data types we have it in Python?
10 data types.
10 data types. What are those? Integer, float, complex, bool, non-type, string, list, tuple, set, and dictionary. So these are the 10 data types are there. Let's go for understand one by one. Okay. So first we'll try to understand the integer. So what is mean that integer, guys? Integer means it's a number. It's a very simple thing. The whole number. So whole number means what? What is mean that whole number? Whole number means it could be negative numbers, it could be
Or
zero,
positive number.
or it can be positive numbers. So that kind of numbers we are calling it say whole numbers. Okay. See, in Python, if I want to know the data type, we have a function is type function. So with help of the type function, we can find the, or we can return the, we can know the, simply we can know the data type of anything, of any variable. So if we have variable, the variable which holds some data, I just want to know the what type of data that particular variable has having it. Okay. So for example, I have a variable name is a, and I was stored some negative number, so some bigger number only. Let me consider any negative number. I have one more variable that could be the my b. Maybe it was holding some 0. Maybe I have one more variable, the variable name is c, and it was holding some positive numbers. Okay. So when a variable which is holding the positive or negative or 0, whatever it is, it could be a whole number, then it could be a integer data type. I just want to know the what type of data the a is holding, then we just use the type of a. I just want to know the what type of data the b variable he is having it, then type of b. If I use the type of c, then I can able to find the data type of the c variable. Okay. So just noted this example. At least we can note it this one in your notes. If not, at least we can note it in our notes. After that one, you just go to your lab in your college. If you don't have the laptop, okay, just go to your college lab and you have to practice it, guys. If you're not practicing it, you're blaming me. Simply you're blaming me. Okay. I never accept this one, that kind of things. My students need to practice. So you have to get a lot of errors. I just want to solve it, that particular errors. Okay, you have to come up with some questions. Okay, so I'm spending the time. The reason is that you should improve your skills. Okay, got it my point? So this is very basic things. If you're not able to practice this thing in future, you might be getting the complex programs, you might be getting the complex concepts. Then it will be very tough to execute it. And it was very tough to understand it. Okay, so please practice it. And whatever you practice it, you have to send me either Instagrams or you can send me in a WhatsApp, whatever it is, whatever you practiced it. Just noted this example regarding about integer. Have you none? Okay, now let's go for understanding the float. When coming to the float, what is mean that float, guys? Float means real number, whole floating numbers or whole floating numbers. What is mean that floating numbers? So it could be negative number, it could be positive number, but it should have the some fractional data, whole fractional data, nothing but. Okay, see, I have the 3 4 5. If I have the dot 54, then it could be float. 0.0, it could be float, something which is having the some fractional data. Okay, something, a data which is having the some fractional data, then it could be a float data type. Just execute. And complex, what is mean that complex? I think most of the students are mathematics background, right? What is mean that complex? Anybody can tell me? What is mean that complex?
The complex means it's a real number and imaginary product.
Yes. So
Imaginary.
real numbers means we can specify with X representation, and imaginary numbers we can specify with Y representation. In mathematics, imaginary numbers you should have the I is the extension, right? But in case of Python programming language, you should have the J. J indicating that before the J, whatever the number we have it, that number, it could be imaginary number, and plus before whatever we have it, that could be a real number. Okay, a number, it is formatting. A number, it can have the some combination of the real and imaginary. That kind of data we are calling it say complex data. For example, I have the 0 plus 0j. This also it's a complex number, and I have the 0. Maybe I have the float number. It could be any float number. Doesn't matter. Mean it. It could be any integer number also. Imagine number can be integer, can be float. Real number also can be integer, can float. But thing is that it should have the j indicating that it's an imaginary number. So when the variable, it could be holding some imaginary type of data, then the type of data type we are calling it say complex data type. Okay, that particular data type we are calling it say complex data type. Just noted this one. Okay, now let's go for understanding the Boolean data type. So Boolean data type, in the sense, when we are holding some kind of true or false, the variable which is holding the true or false, then that kind of data type we are calling it say Boolean data type. Here true and false are the keywords. What are those? Type of A. Then if you go with find out the data type of B, then it was Boolean data type. See, careful observe here. So first one is integer type, second one is the float type, third one is the complex type, and fourth one is the Boolean type, and fifth one is what? It's a none type, right? None type means the variable which is not holding anything. The variable is not holding anything. Okay, So to do this particular operation, we have a keyword is none keyword, and which is indicating that the data type of this one is, it's a none type. Okay, it's a none type. Just noted this example, guys. These are the 5 data types we have it: integer, float, complex, bool, none type. These are the 5 data types we are calling it same. These are the 5 data types are the fundamental data types. These are the 5 data types we can call it's a fundamental data types. Okay, and here we can try to understand fundamental data type. So coming to this particular fundamental data type, first 5 are the fundamental data type. Next 5 are the sequential data type. Sequential data type. So coming to this particular sequential data type is maybe the variable or the variable which may holding the multiple elements. When the variable is holding the multiple elements, then that could be the sequential data type. Variable can hold multiple elements. Okay, and the fundamental data type means the variable can hold single element. So if you have a single variable, it can hold only single data, can hold only single element. Okay, see this integer, float, complex, bool, you can see this example, one variable which is holding only one data. Everywhere one variable, one data, one variable, one data, right? One element, right? So that's we are calling it a fundamental data type. Now we are talking about the sequential data type. When the sequential data type means it's a collection of some or sequence of elements. From that one, the first one is the string data type. So what is mean that string data type, guys?
That it is in semicolon.
So we have one variable and it could be holding some kind of group of characters, right? Maybe string means it's a group of characters. Group of characters, that means multiple characters. Okay, so it could be a alphabets, it could be a smaller case alphabets, it could be a digits, it could be special characters also. Anything you can hold inside of the double quotes or single quotes, that it could be a string data type. That's it. Type of a, it could be string data type. So here we are holding the not the single data, it was holding the multiple characters. Now we have the one more data type is it's a list data type. So when it comes to the list data type, we are holding some data elements inside of the square brackets. Inside of the square brackets, for example, inside of the square brackets you can try to hold the integer data. If you want to hold the some float data, if you want to hold some complex data, if you want to hold some boolean data, okay, if you want to store some none type of data, if you want to store some string, if you want to store, if you want to hold some list inside of the list, you can do anything. You can hold inside of the square brackets any type of data. Okay, so anyway, the variable which is holding the data inside of the square brackets, then that kind of data type we are calling it same list data type. This is the example of the list data type. Can you please note these 2 examples? I can wait for 1 minute. Done? Now, let's go for understanding the tuple data type. You may call it's a tuple or tuple. You can pronounce. Hello? You can pronounce anything. Guys, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Now I am talking about tuple data type. Tuple means it's a very similar to the list only, but we are holding the data inside of the parenthesis. Okay, inside of the parenthesis, you can hold parenthesis also. That means tuple, you can hold tuple. Okay. So this is the type of data we are calling it's a tuple data type. So we have some differences is there that we will talk some other classes. Okay, so differences between the list, tuple, string, and other data types also we need to discuss about it. And here we have the set data type is there. When it comes to the set data type, which is very similar to the list and tuple only, but we are holding the data inside of the curly braces. When you are holding the data inside of the curly braces, okay, so we have some limitations are there. Those things we'll discuss when I'm talking about especially in a set data type. Okay, when we are holding the data elements inside of the curly braces, so that kind of data type we are calling it same set data type. Last but not least, it could be dictionary data type. What it is? It could be dictionary data type. Dictionary data type means combination of what? Key and value. So when I'm talking about dictionary data type, which is the combination of the key and value. So the pair of key and value. So the pair of key and values are separated with colon symbol. Colon symbol. When we are holding the multiple keys and values, that we are calling it's an item. So this is the thing we are calling it's a item. So when the definition of the dictionary is it's a collection of items. Item means it's a pair of key and value. Okay, when the data which can be holding in this particular format, then that kind of data type we are calling it say dictionary data type. That kind of data type we are calling it say dictionary data type. So is there any questions, guys? Just to understand what are the data types are there. That's a small thing. For today's concept is very small thing. If you're not understood, you can let me know. I can wait for you guys unless you understood the subject. Okay, beginning is very important. If you could not understand the beginning concept, then it will be very tough to understand the advanced concepts. Okay. Note this example. Guys, done? So these are the data types in Python programming language. You can practice it. Let's connect on Monday to discuss about some built-in functions in Python. Okay. See you guys. Bye. Take care. Any more questions?
No, sir.
Okay, fine. Bye.